Number 6, trim the fat. Now, this is going to intertwine with a lot of different things, but I'd like to start off with the fact that if you're extremely overweight or unhealthy, you're not treating yourself the way that you should. Let's really boil it down, if you will. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What it comes down to is the fact that you're not treating yourself well. And if you want to find your levels of success, health is so intertwined with so many other things. You're telling yourself, shit, I don't have the energy to stay up to figure out these different things. Well, if your body's not right alongside you, doing what it needs to do and keeping you at the pace that you need to, your work pace, doing those 8 14-hour days, then maybe you need to take a look at yourself. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, like what, where are these love handles need to go, right? These are weighing you down. They're not allowing you to run at the pace that you need to define your success. And if your success is, playing some video games every day and making some money and providing for your family and everything's kosher, then have at it. If that's what makes you happy, you need to really look at that and see if that's what works for you. And if it works for you, that is wonderful. That is the most beautiful thing, because you've figured it out. You've been able to step back and learn what it is that defines you as a person and makes you happy. Everybody's different. I'm different. I've had to look at myself many different times in the mirror. I've taken many pictures of myself, because sometimes when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's so different. You get so used to who you are as a person. I assure you, take a picture of yourself, wait 72 hours, and then look at yourself. And I assure you, you're going to see a different version of what you thought you saw in the mirror. So it's important. Trim that fat if you want to keep pace with what it is that you're trying to do. Also, when I say trim the fat, there's dead weight. There's dead weight in so many factors in life. It could be people you surround yourself with, the relationships, the friends that you've had for numerous years where they've kind of roped onto you and chain themselves to you in all different ways so that they can, kind of just come along for the ride. Different people that you see just aren't really keeping pace for where you're at, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I assure you, many, many times in my life, and I've had to do this, and I'm trying to look at each one of you listening to me right now, it is hard to let people go. But you have to do it. It is so important for your own growth as a human being. You have to look at the people around you and see who's keeping pace. There's people that you can really pull along with you if you see that they have the capability of growing as a person. And everybody needs help. Everybody needs emotional support in getting to where they need to. But if these people are dragging you down and they've been doing it for potentially years and you don't see them growing, in fact, you see them going the other direction, the best thing that you could do for them is let them go. And tell them. You don't have to just stop calling them. You can just tell these people, look, I was listening to a podcast with a wannabe guru, and he was recommending that I look at the people around me and I trim the fat. And you can use different terminology, but this is kind of blunt, the way I'm putting it. And the reality is, you're not helping me in the evolution of my success and where I'm heading in the world and what I want to do for myself and my family. And I would love to be there for you. But rather than be there for you and necessarily support you in all the different ways that you need help with, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what it takes to get to where I want to be in life. And the best way to do that, be your best you. And sometimes when you're an alcoholic, let's say, and you have people that are around you that are being influenced, and you're able to kick it, you're able to kick those drugs, you're able to do better, you're able to go to rehab, you're able to define your success, make more money, start to love yourself more, become healthier, I assure you they're going to look at that and they're going to do one of two things. They're going to say, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how they did it. And they're going to spiral down to wherever they need to be for themselves. But you don't need to worry about that, because if they love and care about you, they're going to look up to you and ask you, hey, what did you do for yourself to get to that point? What tools did you do to help yourself out, get better? What pillars did you use to define yourself so you can get to that point and raise yourself up? And I assure you, when you start to make those changes for yourself, other people are going to see it, and you're going to influence all kinds of people around you. And whether they stay pace with you or not, you need to make those decisions for the betterment of yourself, so that you can define your success, move forward, grow, get better. And sometimes what it takes, you got to leave these people behind. Friends, family, doesn't matter. That's what sucks about it. It's not always the funnest thing to do, but I assure you, from my experiences of letting go of so many different types of family members and friends and figuring out what defines me as a person, I assure you, I am the happiest I have ever been in my entire life, because I've made these extremely hard decisions to let people go. You need to do it. Figure it out. Write every single one of them down and how they hold value to your life. And if there's one on there that doesn't do jack shit, well, maybe you need to think about that person. And maybe you need to have that talk with them. And then swing back around eventually and say, check up and see where they're at. So if there's things that aren't giving you what you need, trim the fat. It doesn't have to be people, but I'm using that as one particular topic that you really need to look at, because relationships, friends, all these different things are very influential in your life, and you need to take a look at it and decide what to do. Number 7, give back. Some of the most spiritual, blessed moments in my life have been doing exactly what I'm doing right now. When you get to a certain point in your life, you realize that sometimes the most satisfaction that you'll get is giving back to other people. If you have it, give it. Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be an immense thing, but if you're constantly working at it, like I am, getting better, and I'm not perfect at this, I'm still learning every single day how to define myself and gain all new types of levels of understanding so that I can give back to you, the viewer, but also my friends, my family, defining my success, growing upon that so that I can get wealthier, right? Getting better at what I do so that I can give more. Because when you level up on things, you tend to find, or at least for myself, it's usually giving back. Because the more giving back you give, the better connections you make with not only yourself as a human being, and I truly believe the inner core, the soul, the essence of who we are as human beings is giving back to not only ourselves, but this planet all the different living life forms that are on it, so that we can all prosper, get better, and evolve as an entity, as a giant living life form on this floating ball in space. This living thing, it's alive. We need to give back to it, and we need to give back to all the different things that are on it. Not only in our inner circle, but our outer circle, and all the different cultures and people around the world. It's important. I assure you, when you start to do that and you're capable of doing that, it's going to bring a lot of love and prosperity into your life. And I assure you, when you make those little baby steps of defining your success, give a little bit of yourself. You know, when you're able to just give a little money to the homeless person on the street, or you can give of yourself freely, of your time, to your friends and your family, they'll see that. And they'll come to understand that you're evolving and becoming more of the person that you're wanting to be, and defining your success so that you can give of yourself more. And sometimes that time, everything is time. When you can give more of your time to these people, that's when they really start to see that you're becoming more of the person that you need to be. Number 8. Number 8. Stop giving a fuck. So it's one of my favorites, and I'm sure you hear this from a lot of different successful people, or at least successful people that I like to watch. When you stop giving a fuck is when you really start to home in exactly which direction you want to go. So you'll tend to find with a lot of my podcasts, I like to use metaphors for things. So my metaphor today is, and I'm sure you've heard this before, is I like putting on the horse blinders. And if you don't know what horse blinders are, they're these things on different horses so they can understand exactly where they're going without being distracted on either side. And I was even thinking about, what this means to me even before I started this conversation today. And really, when you're running a marathon or you're doing something extremely physical and you're being influenced by either side, you can see the finish line and you can see the goal. But if you're looking around you and you're being distracted by all these different people screaming at you and say, "Oh, go this way and go that way," you're going to lose sight of what that is. Or you're going to trip and stumble. You're not going to be watching what's underneath you. You're not going to see that rock, and you're going to stumble over and you're going to break your leg, right? You're going to fuck up. It's going to affect you in some way or another. The running metaphor works, but the reality is you need to focus on exactly where you're going and not be distracted by all these different influences in life. And there's so many these days. That's the problem with 2024 is shit. You look around you and you're being influenced by so much, right? You can either do one of two things. You can isolate those things and cut them out of your life with trimming the fat, or you can stop giving a fuck what people have to say. There comes a point where I've been negatively influenced by so many different people in my life, and I've either had to cut them out or not listen to them and really define yourself on how you feel every day, what is meaningful to you, and stop looking from side to side to see what it is that other people are saying or texting you or this, that, and the other, like what you're watching. You just stop being influenced. Focus on your goal and make the right steps to get there and get after it. It is the only way you're going to get to where you need to be going. You got to invest 100% in yourself, right? When you're not investing 100%, what happens? Incrementally, that 100% is going to go down. Every little percent, every little thing adds up, right? 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, all these little things, all these tiny little percents of things that are going in all these different different directions of investments that you're making on other people and what they may or may not be doing. If you start giving of yourself in these little increments, I assure you it's going to take you that much longer to get to where you're wanting to go. Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. Invest 100%, because when you invest 100% and you get to where you're going and you feel great about what you're doing, everybody else around you is going to be influenced. It's going to show other people that they need to do the same thing for themselves. It's going to show your child. It's going to show your wife. It's going to show your husband. It's going to show the family around you. It's going to show your friends. It's going to be all these different circles, all these different layers of the onion that is your life. You're going to influence all these different people, and even other people that you have no idea who they are. You're going to walk down the street and your vibe is going to radiate so far outside your body that when people walk next to you and they go, holy shoot, who the fuck is that guy? They're going to feel that vibe of 100%. They're going to understand the fact that, hey, that guy, man, look at his family. Look at how well dressed they are. Look at that car he's driving. Holy shit, that guy must be 100% invested in himself, right? They know, they can feel it, they can see it, right? So you need to do the same thing for yourself. You need to start manifesting positivity, prosperity, and you need to give of yourself which that you know you need. You need to feed yourself that every single day. You need to feed yourself the good things on the outside, the good things on the inside, the good things above. And every step you take, you need to reflect upon that, where you step, and know that every step you're heading towards your goal. Doesn't matter which direction you're going, you're heading towards that goal. You're going to get to that goal and you're going to get to another goal. You're going to constantly get there, and you're going to define yourself. What does success mean to me? What are all the different variables that define my success? How will I maintain these different items that define me? I assure you, when you start using these different pillars and you start building up what it is that defines your success, whether it be something small, like I said earlier, if you enjoy doing minimal things in your life, bringing home a minimal amount of money, and that makes you happy, and you absolutely know that makes you happy, it provides for everybody around you, or just yourself, you are a successful person. And that's what I want to see more. I want people to come to me and say, I am the most successful person that I know. And I go, hell yeah, that is amazing. Because you've defined that. You've defined that unique spirit that is you, to understand that you've found what it is that makes you happy. And you're growing as a human being, and you're helping the people around you. I'm constantly learning that. I'm constantly defining myself to understand what that means. And I'm constantly having to define my levels of success. My levels of success is growing this business so that I can help more people. The more people that I help, the more successful that I will feel. That is a piece to my success. That does not define me. There are so many different factors that come into play that I have to put together every single day, all the different puzzle pieces, so that I can put them all together and look at the big picture of what it is that defines me as a whole. And there's many different parts of that. And that's why I will create another video to understand the foundation of which you need to put all these different things on. Because with anything, a weak foundation you cannot build upon. It will crumble. You cannot build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. In fact, you can't build much on that. So therefore, you need to figure out what that means to you as well. And I will also demonstrate that in another video. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you listening. I love you all. And I hope you follow me. Wannabe Guru Podcast. Thank you so much.